And also at that time, the district has not have a mill levy and a bond passed since 2006. And as you know, we continuously need to have additional money to better the teachers' pay, get a much better programs for the student, and have a CTE programs. So we have no money, and that's why we cannot pay our teacher adequately, and that's why we cannot have the programs that we need for the student. And at that time, we were really, really lower pay. We were probably 8,000 to 20,000 lower than the surrounding school district. But our awesome teacher and the staff stayed with us because they hope for the best. And thank God we did not disappoint them and get elected in 2017.
So speaking of financially, this past year was very difficult for the district in terms of COVID because of the revenues that the state was able to gather from all sorts of things like tolls and businesses and such. So, you know, there's a huge cut in the budget this past year. How is it going right now in terms of the budget? I know there was probably some stimulus money that came in from the federal government and such, but was it enough to cover what was lost?
Well, in the last 2 years, our school district lost $31 million in revenues, and in proportion with the number of students that we have in the state, $31 million is a huge sum of money to any school district. We have to implement a lot of programs to make sure that our students' educations has the minimal effect and also has minimized the impact to the teachers' pay. So, you know, I probably did not introduce that. I'm also the board treasurer for the school district. We have a wonderful finance department. Plus, we have an awesome citizen group called Financial Oversight Committee, which I'm also a board director. Listen to parents, listen to the teachers' concern, collaboratively, and trying to find some solutions that minimize, again, number one, the students' educations. Because as you know, last year, not only we lost the money, we have to establish a school for online educations. We have 6,000 students enrolled in the online program, 6,000.
This coming fall as well? Are they?
No, not this fall. This fall, we are going back to much more manageable size, which is in the hundreds. But I'm saying that last year.
Yeah, last year.
Suddenly, we have 6,000 online students that we do not have a program for. We have an online school DCSD, but they're not scaled to that number. So we have to actually allocate additional resources to work with them. Plus, during the pandemic, we have to do additional cleaning, and not to mention that we have to pay extra to hire substitute teachers because the pool for the talented employee is shrinking because of the COVID concern. And again, the cooperations in the community is awesome. And also because of the wonderful management of our finance, we actually have some reserve money that we could tap into. And thank you, for the presidents. So we have also have some CARE Act money that coming down and trickle down, to us. But I don't want to minimize the pain that we have caused to everybody, including our awesome teacher, who understandably know why we have to have 2 furlough days. And the upper administration, central administrations, they actually take 5 days of pay cut. And fortunately, because the situations has been improved, so we are able to restore the 2 days furlough day pay for them in these school years. And we promise to take care of our teacher and deliver our promise of taking care of them when we have the resources. And as for the student, the mental health issues is very important. But again, when you have no money, everything has to go. And but fortunately, in 2018, this board was able to pass the first mill levy override and bond in 12 years. So
yeah, we have the voters to thank for that too, right?
Yes, yes. And again, cannot say thank you enough for the people in this county to trust this board and pass the first ever mill levy override and bond in 12 years. You trust us, and we are able to deliver of hire an additional counselor for each school. Used to be, we don't have, every school have a counselor. And it turns out to be a very, very important component for the mental health of our students.
Yes.
During the COVID years, mental health of our students is my number one concern and my peers' number one concern. And also isolations really did hit them quite a bit with that, but an additional counselor does help. So yes, last year, thank God, everybody, including the teacher, parents, student, we all band together to overcome the difficulty during the pandemic, which killed 600,000 Americans and sickening so many of them. And I want people to know that the pandemic is still here. We are getting better, but it's not over.
Yeah, no, the Delta variant is ramping up. And in fact, the Parker Adventist Hospital is almost full right now with patients having lung issues and breathing issues and such. So that brings us to the next question is the masks. So all around the country, it's just a varying degree in terms of what people are requiring and states are requiring or schools are requiring in terms of the masks. I believe the Tri-County Health here in Douglas County just recently said that they are requesting people to wear masks, but it is not required, and requesting people who are both vaccinated and unvaccinated, both the teachers and the students. Have you heard anything new, or what's your feedback on that?
Well, first of all, I want to make sure that, because we hear a lot of the misinformations about masks, I want to set the record very, very straight.
Okay.
Mask is effective against this pandemic, the coronavirus. Dr. Douglas said it last Wednesday when he was with us, even though—
Yeah, Dr. Douglas, who's the executive director of the Tri-County Health Department.
Correct.
Yes, okay.
And also, there's a lot of fake news out there, but if you look at the National Institute of Health and CDC, the Center of Disease Control, Johns Hopkins University, Harvard Business Study, American Pediatricians Associations, and minus the so-called fake news from Stanford, which actually is not from Stanford, they all said that face masks prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Again, I want to say this again. Face masks prevent the spread of the coronavirus. That's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, you do think about it when you go into the hospital, just for anything, like doctors and nurses have to wear face masks already, right? And there's reasons for it. So it does seem to make sense.
Well, again,
but there is a concern. So
yesterday, NIH director went to the news and said that please do not politicize effective tools to control the pandemics.
Yeah.
And when politicians get involved into the health decisions, it never go well.
Yeah. So there's a concern, because I've seen some postings today on Facebook, particularly in regards to Douglas County schools, high schools having pep rallies in the first week with the high school students not wearing masks at all, and you literally have hundreds of them in the gyms and having rallies. So is there a stance that the school board needs to make on this, particularly with your, expressing this about masks? What is your feeling on this?
Again, I can only speak for myself.
Okay.
I don't represent the board nor anybody except myself today in this form. Okay, I want to make that very clear. But I want to give some number. There's 62,000 new coronavirus cases a day right now. Okay, and vast majority of those hospitalized and dying are those who hasn't been vaccinated. Also, the myth that kids can get seriously sick from coronavirus is debunked and it's not true. Look at the article recently in this week. because of this Delta variance is very, very different.
Yeah. But
Since
does the school
here,
board need to
more
make
than
a stance as a
45,000
group?
children. I'm sorry.
Does the school board need to make a stance as a group, or is it just your individual opinions?
Well, I want to know that, our board, rely on science and CDC guidance and Tri-County's guidance. And the CDC's guidance is ask us to recommend, and also Tri-County have the same wording. So we speak to Dr. Douglas in Tri-County. When I say superintendents wise, because wearing face masks or not is the operation issues. The board in our county operate into a policy governance model. So the board is in charge of what, which is passing policy, and the superintendents is doing the implementations, which is we generally call how. And superintendent wise has been really proactively working with health departments, following the CDC guideline. So if you look at the Dallas County policy, is word by word verbatim that copy what CDC and Tri-County and also the Colorado Departments of Health guidance. Okay, we strongly would encourage people, to wear masks, and also superintendents wise go a little bit further of trying to require all unvaccinated staff wear masks. And so even
the CDC is saying people who are vaccinated as well are recommended to be wearing masks.
So we recommended everybody to wear masks. I'm just saying that we mandate the non-vaccinated teacher to wear masks.
Oh, you did mandate that.
We mandated the unvaccinated teacher.
Okay.
That we mandated, let me say it again, we mandated the staff who has closely working with student wear masks. And we copied the wording word by word from CDC and the Tri-County and the Colorado Public Health that we recommend everybody in the school district to wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
So we trust our healthcare professions to give us the best recommendations and the best advice. And at any given point, if they change the stand, we'll look into this. And they have not required general public or the student to mandate the mask yet. So superintendent wise is rely on the expertise and their working to implementing the programs as it is at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's ever evolving, isn't it? Because last year there was constant change going on. It felt like every week was a different week. And
again, I'm not medical professions. I don't have a medical degree. And so I trust my scientists that do the amazing work up there at CDC and the county and the Colorado Departments of Health. And the NIH, I believe collectively, they have the best interest of the student and everybody in mind. So if they, at any given point, said that this is mandated, I'm sure that superintendent-wise will make the right decisions. Mm-hmm. It's his call, but I will be closely watching the number. And so far, Dallas County's vaccination rate is much higher than the rest. But again, the pandemic is still here. And please make sure that we do our part. Vaccinations is still the #1 way to make all of us safer. Mm-hmm. So I strongly recommend that anybody who could take the vaccine. Millions and millions of Americans has done that. And there's no reason why we don't.
Okay, so some people who have decided to pull their children out of the district and do homeschooling or do private schools, that brings us to the next question about school vouchers. That's probably going to come up again, especially with the new groups that are forming, like the Kids First group and DCSD, and also the new school board, people running for school board. So what's your position on the private school vouchers? I know you talked about it earlier in terms of having reached all the way up to the Supreme Court, but it seems like it's not over yet.
It is not over yet, and I want a lot of times people think that school board elections or all elections, we don't come out to vote because this really does not matter to me or it doesn't affect me. But as we can see what happened in 2009, and it will cause a big turmoil to your kids' educations, your home value, and the morale of your county, and then to the teacher and the neighborhoods and things like that.
Could you elaborate on that? Like, how would it affect the value of homes?
Well, we could see that the number one reason why we choose to move to a particular county or particular area is because the school district. You can talk to the realtor, they will tell you that they always ask, do you have a good school? And I'm so proud to represent the Castle Pine area. I mean, so a lot of people moved here, my neighbors, because Rock Canyon High School is an awesome school, and the neighborhoods over there in Mountain Vista and all of those, we have an awesome high school in our school district. And that is the number one thing that people are looking at. And so that's why you can see that we are doing a pretty wonderful job, because the house price in Dallas County has been keep on increasing. So this is
they're increasing by 3 to 5% every 30 days. So
but anyway, so if you look at that, it does affecting everybody.
Yeah.
And also at that time, because they were trying to use Dallas County as a showcase school district to implement 2 reform agenda. One is school voucher, the other one is so-called pay for performance for teacher. And so they only need one test case so it can bring all the way to Supreme Court, as you can see in the voucher case, to try to overturn 36 or 37 state law that do not allow voucher. So a local school board elections can make a big difference on who win the elections, because you're looking at some that is focusing on the local issues and make sure that our kid is doing good, and some has eyes on how we could do to make sure that this become national issues. And I can tell you that 2 issues that you're probably going to hear in these elections. One is the critical race theory, which our school district has never implemented, but over and over and over again, somebody is trying to stir up the pot and use this. And I have no doubt if the backer of the slave that won, this will become some sort of issues that come up and in these elections or after the school board elections. And then the other things is mask mandates or vaccine and things like that. This board listen to CDC, Tri-County, and science. However, if you look at last Wednesday's public forum meeting, you can see that there's an undercurrent who said that even recommendations is too far. And that, so we can see that there could be issues about whether you have a board that listen to science and implement what is the best for the student, or they're trying to implement some sort of political ideas or agenda. It's a choice in front of you.
Yeah. So the next question actually is about non-college options like a military career and technical education. What are your thoughts on preparing students for those options?
Well, I'm so proud to say that Dallas County School District, under our leaderships in the last 4 years, and again, I want to thank you, the voter, to pass the Mill Levy and bond. We are able to have a new center built in Castle Rock, and a collaborative center that offer a lot of CTE programs.
And what's that called, that center?
Huh?
What is the center called?
Collaborative center down there at Castle Rock. It's open last year.
Okay.
I'm happy to take you to have a tour.
I would love to.
Yes,
we'll do a
so
live
cool.
cam, tour.
Let me know what time I'm going. If some of you are interested, I'll go down.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Down there, and we're trying to build a second one out there in the park.
Near the library, right? That was the. I'd seen a diagram of what it was going to look like. So I think it's been under works for a few years.
And so we're building the second one right now. So I'm not, when it's done.
Oh, okay.
You know that because of coronavirus, the constructions,
Yeah.
it's become a headache. You can find people to build enough and fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of students that really don't feel like they need to go the college route.
Right, absolutely. And so we have increased the number of CTE programs to over 70 of them. And so we understand that there's a different choice that people want to make. And in fact, in this country, we are short of, I'm a small business owner, I can tell you that. We need plumber, we need electricians, we need a good auto mechanic. And those are very, very important components. And we don't have one size fit all. And the blue collar jobs actually right now is earning very good money. So this board has tried our best to make sure that the CTE is in the top of our agenda. And that's the reason why we have so many programs right now and have a new center that's coming up. And we already, build a new center. And we have invested a lot of money in that.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's important for us to have options for our students.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I want to continue my work, because the center in Parker has not been built yet. And so there's a lot of work that is carried on. And it's important to have the people that have experience and proven leaderships and know how things work to continue to make this district better and better again. And I hope I'm the one of the person that you will entrust and vote in this November.
Thank you. We should probably provide your website address too.
Yes, my website is Kevin for FORDCSD.com. KEVIN FORDCSD.com. So those are just a little bit of, it doesn't show really well. It's just a little information for me. It's KEVIN FORDCSD.com.
Okay, excellent. And I did look at your website. It looks like you have links there for volunteers, for people to donate, and a little bit about yourself on there too, and what your focuses are.
Right, and what's my focus for the next 4 years, and why I choose to run, and my family, my background. And again, I come from a very, very humble beginning. And so it is very important to me to make sure that all students have a chance to be able to succeed and be able to move up to have a better life. I thank educations, and I thank this country to give me this wonderful opportunity. And I want the other people can experience the American dream that I'm experiencing right now.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and for lending us some of your time, and for us to get to know you better and understand where you're coming from and what your focus is. And we wish you well. And I hope that some people have a chance to go to your website. Why don't we just say your website one more time?
My website, Kevin, KEVIN for FORDCSD.com. Election is November 2nd. You should get your ballot in the second week of October. I am in District E as in elephant, E as in elephant. Please consider to vote for me. And if you have any questions, you can reach me. In the last 4 years, I have visited 50 of the 90 schools and talked to many teachers and students and parents. I love to earn your vote. Call me, text me, I will talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, have a good rest of your evening.
And thank you for hosting this. And thank you for your member to listen to, spend time to listen to me. And God bless. Thank you. And please safe. Safe is the most important thing right now. Take vaccine, wear a face mask if you could.
Yes, stay healthy. Beautiful. Thank you again.
Bye.